Marilyn Monroe was such an example of someone who looked out there. She believed if I become rich and famous and beautiful, then surely I'll feel lovable. And I've seen many, many clients who say, but no one loves me. I can't find love. There isn't anybody for me. And that simply is not true. Fame, riches, validation. We look out there to feel good about ourselves. But even if out there loves you, it doesn't really work because you have to look in here. You have to fall in love with yourself.
Norma Jean, you're going to keep daydreaming, or are you going to help me here?
I want to help Mama.
No. I'm not your mama. You mustn't call me that. You can call me Aunt Ida.
Yes, Aunt Ida.
At 2 weeks old, Marilyn was put into foster care. Her mother wasn't able to raise her and didn't actually even want to. She had issues of her own. So Marilyn spent her early years with a very nice foster mother, and they go to the park and she'd see children playing.
There's a Mama, and there's a Mama, and there's a Mama. But I haven't gotten a Mama.
Oh, Norma Jean, your mama wishes she could be with you, but you can't.
And Marilyn knew immediately, I don't have a mama. I'm not like all the other kids. So when Marilyn was still Norma Jean, she had already got a very established belief. I'm not lovable enough. I'll never have what other people have.
Now, all right, look. If you're so anxious to go out with girls, why don't you pick out some nice girl like Connie Haynes here?
Connie won't go out with me.
Yes, I will, Mr. Costello.
Yes, I would, Mr. Costello. I had a fight with my family tonight, and I want to disgrace them.
Norma Jean!
I tell you, Abbott, there's no use.
What are you doing? You need to get ready for school.
I'm practicing. I want to be in the pictures.
What on earth would you want to do that for?
Because if you're in the pictures, you're famous. When you're famous, everyone will love you.
So Marilyn had so many qualities that made the world fall in love with her. She was immensely talented, and fame followed her. She courted fame, she went after fame, and then fame went after her. So Marilyn came from nowhere and achieved what so many people want. She achieved that great balance of women wanted to be her, and men wanted to be with her. But because she didn't believe that she was enough, she found herself drawn to relationships with men that didn't value her. Marilyn's husband, Joe DiMaggio, wanted to possess her completely, but she was a sex symbol, and so she found herself in romantic roles with other men, and this eventually tore the marriage apart.
Temperature's rising, you certainly can.
Hi, Joe. Didn't that look good?
Marilyn, I think we did enough for today. I'll see you at the studio tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Of course. Thanks, Joe. Bye, Marilyn.
Hi.
What the hell was that?
Well, it's nothing, Joe. He's just my instructor.
Well, you're my wife. Don't forget it.
Even when she married her final husband, Arthur Miller, she was already planning the divorce. She knew it wouldn't work, and that was amazing to people that on her wedding day, she was already telling people how long it would last. No matter how you try to show someone that you're lovable, people can pick up when you don't love yourself. It's why so many beautiful women and beautiful men appear to get left when they seem to have it all. And if you haven't got self-esteem, no amount of love from another person or beauty or accolades is going to give you self-esteem if you can't give it to yourself. So Marilyn's life as a cautionary tale is an interesting tale. We can only learn from people like Marilyn and go, wow, I can see exactly where her thinking went wrong. Can you see where your thinking might also be going wrong? Because if you can see where you're going wrong, then you can see how to put it right. Fall in love with yourself. It sounds hard. It's easy. How do I do that here? You say, well, look in the mirror and go, hey, there you go. Look at you. You're lovable. Rebel Wilson, Amy Mullins, Chantelle Brown-Young, Madeline Stewart, and so many others are showing us the truth. You do not have to be perfect to be loved. I've spent the past 30 years working with and studying the underlying issues of all of our problems. And what I discovered was that all of our problems stem from this feeling of, I'm not enough. I have a whole movement all about knowing you're enough, which in itself would change your entire life. And if you want to know how to get more of I'm enough in your life, click below and I'll tell you all about it. My gran used to say, every pan has a lid. And when I found my husband, I found my lid. He found his lid, and that's a wonderful thing. But it took me a long time. I was a very lonely kid. I was quite lonely as an adolescent. I was a single parent, and even though I had friends, that was really lonely to raise my child without assistance, without someone else to lean on. So why do we believe that no one loves us? Well, that really stems from us not loving ourselves. You know, I think magazines and a lot of TV shows do a lot of damage because we look at what I call fake images of perfection. We become overexposed to images of fake perfection. We watch Friends and there's a waitress living in Central Park in Manhattan. That isn't even remotely possible. There are women who've just had a baby and an hour later they look amazing. There are people who are living perfect lives. They're not real. And we compare ourselves and think, oh, I don't look like that. There's something wrong with me. But it really goes back much, much further. When you were a baby and you came onto the planet, you had very simple needs. I need to connect to the person that carried me, my mother and my father. My mother really more than anything, I need connection. My needs as a tiny baby, here they are. I need to feel safe. I need to feel connected. I need to feel I matter. I need to feel protected. I need to feel loved. I need to feel that my needs are worth being met. And for many children, they're not. Mum and dad are at work, the baby's in daycare, dad isn't around, mum is depressed, dad or mum is drinking, there are other kids, they're always fighting. They start to say to that baby, I need you to be perfect. You must be a grade A student. I need you to look better. Look at your cousin. She never makes a mess. Look at your brother. He could read when he was 4. What's wrong with you? Now, these are minor, but there are major. 2 parents who emotionally abuse their children, neglect them, hit them, hurt them. There's sexual abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse. And when that happens, that child does not stop loving the parent. They stop loving themselves. The same as if you got a little puppy and kicked it. He wouldn't stop loving you because you're the source of provision. So to begin to believe there was something wrong with it. So very early on we buy into this belief, I'm not lovable. My mum's always crying. My mum's always at work. My dad's always angry. My brother's always picking on me. My brother hurts me. My sister takes my stuff. Kids at school bully me. I can't learn like other people. I haven't got the stuff other people have got. I'm different and I can't connect. And you see, when we're born on the planet, we are so wired to survive, and we survive by finding connection and avoiding rejection. From a tiny puppy to a kitten to a child, we know the truth. If I find connection and avoid rejection, I'll make it. And then we have someone in the house that rejects us, an older brother. I worked with a psychiatrist once who was so shut down and so sad. And she told me this story that when she was born, her brother hated her, and he'd come and look at her in the car and go, I hate you, I hate you. And the parents go, oh, he doesn't mean it, he loves you. But he'd always say, I hate you. And he'd pinch her and scratch her every chance he got. She grew up feeling hated by him. Couldn't really form friendships. Had no husband, no friends, no life, no pets. Because of this belief she carried that no one likes me. In fact, her brother had his own issues with Asperger's. It was nothing to do with her. It was him. But when you're a small child, you can't rationalize. Before the age of 5, you have feeling and no logic. And if you have no logic, you can't work out. Your dad married your mum at 18. They weren't even suited. He feels he's lost his chance. He's drinking now because he feels like he's a waste of space. You feel like you're a waste of space. So many children buy into this belief early: I'm not enough. I'm not lovable enough. I'm not interesting enough. I'm not attractive enough, smart enough, worthy enough, lovable enough. I'm not enough. And when you believe that, you expect other people to be disappointed in you. And you often are alone. You're too scared to let someone in case they too reject you. You know, I had a client whose father came to London on kinder transport. That's when in Germany they were putting children on the trains and they were leaving and they knew they'd probably never see their parents again. My client, whose father was put on that train, his grandfather fainted on the station as he put his son on the train, knowing he'd never see them again. And he said, my father was so cold. He wouldn't let me hug him. When I said I loved him, he said, don't say that. But you see, the father could not ever allow himself to be that vulnerable again. He put up a wall and said, if I don't let love in, I can't be hurt. And many people who don't have love because they're scared of being rejected, so they keep love over there. They're scared of being hurt. They're scared of being vulnerable, or they simply believe I'm not lovable enough. I'm not beautiful. I'm not a 10. I'm not interesting. Who's going to want me with 3 kids? Who's going to want me with cellular? Who's going to want me? I don't have a great job. I'm not a great provider. And we become the critical voice in our head. I heard a story about a woman who was talking to a man she'd met online. And online they communicated. He thought she was wonderful. She thought he was wonderful. They arranged to meet. They spoke for several weeks. They finally met. And after half an hour, I said, this isn't working. And he got up and he left. And I want you to imagine she called a friend and said, well, he got up and left. And the friend said, well, why wouldn't he get up and leave? I mean, look at you. You've got cellulite all over your legs. Your hips are too wide. Your breasts are too small. You've got a child at home. You're a single parent. Who would want you? You haven't got a degree. You're not interesting. But it wasn't the friend who said this. It was her. She was so down on herself, so critical. And she projected that out. And when people pick that up, it's not sexy or alluring. So why does no one love you? Here's the honest answer: because you don't love you. You have to believe that you are worth being with. When you believe you are worth being with, other people will believe that you are worth being with. So you have to fall in love with yourself. You have to think, hey, if I had the best boyfriend, the best girlfriend in the world, what would they say to me? What would the best husband or wife or partner say? Well, they'd go, hey, you're amazing. You're the one. I love everything about you. It's just something about you. With all your faults, I love you still. Your crooked smile, the little bit of fat on your tummy, so much about you I love. I just love you. I love your voice. I love everything. You're a flawed person. I'm a flawed person. The best we can ever hope to have is to meet another flawed person and have a beautiful, flawed relationship together. If no one loves you, that's because you think you are not worth it. Amy Mullins, who is missing her lower legs, is married to a movie star. He knows he's lucky to have her. Chantelle Brown has got impetigo and is beautiful. There's a beautiful model in England who's got Down syndrome, absolutely gorgeous, by the way. James Corden is far from model material, but women love him. He's funny. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. To be loved, you need one thing. It is really one thing. You know what it is? You need to believe you are lovable. You will attract love to the degree that you believe you are worth it. When I was a kid, I thought I was a hideous, ugly freak. I was so self-conscious, I couldn't even hold anyone's gaze. And then I got older and I became a bit like the ugly duckling that changed. And I had a great boyfriend who adored me, but I never really believed I was worth that level of adoration. I faked everything until I felt like a big fake fraud. And I would never do that again. Fall in love with yourself. And then you give the whole world permission to fall in love with you. Say, I'm lovable. Don't say, because I've worked really hard to be a size 8, or because, you know, I've got a degree, or because I've had my teeth fixed, or because I'm wearing Armani. No. You are lovable because you are lovable. You are lovable, that's it. And when you can say, I am lovable, I am lovable, I am worthy of love, deserving of love, ready for love. And by the way, while you're holding back from love and not letting yourself find love, some great person out there is being denied a relationship with you. There's someone who would love everything about you, and you would love everything about them. You are someone's lid, and someone else is your pan. And don't hold back. Love completes you. Having someone who loves you, believes in you, supports you, and has got your back is the best feeling in the world. I denied myself love for so long because I thought I wasn't lovable. And now my only regret is that I didn't fix that sooner. But I love fixing it sooner in other people, including you. So if you would like to feel more lovable, to go from saying, no one loves me, to wow, I have so much love in my life. This is extraordinary. Little old me, who came from nothing, has got love. After all, everybody loved Princess Diana. Everybody loved Marilyn Monroe. Everybody loved George Michael and Michael Jackson and Heath Ledger and Freddie Mercury. Do you know who didn't love them? They didn't love themselves. And also, don't be the kind of person that says, you know, I've wanted love, I found someone who loves me, but I don't understand why they love me. I faked it. If they love me, there's something wrong with them. I'm going for someone I don't want. I'm faking it because I'm so scared of being alone. The best thing is to know you're worth love, worthy of love, ready to love, that love is available to you, and that you'd rather be alone with you until you find the right love. And when you know you're lovable, you find it really, really quickly. People have said to me, you know, I listened to your recording and weirdly, I found love in my apartment building. I'd lived there for 10 years and yet I met a guy in the elevator and we're together. I found love in the store, in the pet food aisle, buying a jar of coffee. I found love on the subway, on the bus. I found love with my next door. One of my clients said, it's so weird. I listened to your audio. I met the guy next door. He's lived next door for 5 years. He'd never registered. And suddenly he said to me, there's something about you. I've got to talk to you. Another one was I was doing my grocery shopping and this guy hit on me. That's never happened before, but he was so nice. And we're still together. I'm going to talk about lovability, and most people don't even know what that is, and that's not surprising. I, many years ago, was attending someone else's talk, and this girl put her hand up and said, you know, the problem is I binge and I'm destructive. And he went, oh, yeah, you just don't love yourself. And what you have to do is love yourself, and then you'll be fine. And then he went to the next person. I'm like, but you didn't tell her how to love herself. And most people have no idea, A, that they don't feel lovable, and even if they do, they just don't know what loving yourself means. And that's not surprising, because in order to love yourself, there's a particular technique. I'm going to take you through it today. We're all going to do it. Because when you can love yourself, your life changes beyond recognition. You know, you're going to be with yourself for the rest of your life. And if you don't love yourself, that's, imagine being married to someone you don't like and going, well, I'm going to be sticking with this person for 60 years. That's really hard. But you having a relationship with you forever. And if you fall in love with yourself, it's a whole new world. And falling in love with yourself is amazing because, first of all, it's a love affair that never dims. never wanes, never disappears. You don't have to shave your legs or any kind of waxing to turn up. You don't have to get dressed up or pretend you're someone else to fall in love with yourself. And here's the big problem with love in the modern world as I see it. We form these beliefs. In order to get love, I have to earn it. I got to be good. I got to be beautiful. I got to have shaved legs or a really successful job. So I have to earn love. I have to run after love and chase love and try to find love. And then I've got to work so hard to keep it. And none of that is true. Love is not to be chased, to be worked for, to be earned. It's not to be bought or paid for. And it's a great shame that in the Western world especially, we attach all these conditions. I'm lovable if I've got thin thighs and big hair. But what if I've got big thighs and thin hair? What does that mean? I'm not lovable? No, it doesn't. But when you read magazines and watch TV shows, we fall into this trap of what lovable is. So we all want love. And, you know, I went through my formative years not really feeling lovable at all. I didn't feel very significant to my parents. They had their own unhappy marriage. I felt hideously ugly. And I didn't feel particularly bright or gifted at anything. But I had one person who believed in me, my grandmother. And I always think if you have one person who believes in you, then that's enough. But I also had myself. And as I got older, I began to believe in myself. And my life changed dramatically. But let me take you right now into, first of all, why we start to lose our lovability and how to get it back. So cast your mind back, if you are parents, the day your baby was born. Or if you're not parents, think about any baby you may have met. You know, I used to push my little girl along the street in a stroller. I think Australians are like Brits. They say pushchair, so I can go back. So used to, I don't think anything to American. I used to push my daughter along the street and people would come and go, oh my God, she's so lovely. She has the longest legs. Isn't she cute? And she never went, don't look at me. I got a bad head. I've got milk spots. She would just kick her little legs and gurgle. And of course, when you are born, for all of us, the first thing that happens after we take a breath is that people come and look at us. The doctor looks, checks everything is there. The nurses look, mum looks, dad looks. Maybe you're a single mum. People then come to visit you, and the first thing is, let me see the baby. Oh, what a great baby. And they look in the crib, and they tickle their tummy, hold their little finger, stroke their hair. And no baby, to my knowledge, ever says, please don't look at me. My nose is leaking, my butt's leaking, my ears are leaking, my eyes are leaking, I'm vomiting. They just lap it up because we are all born with a belief, I am lovable. And if you've ever got a kitten or a puppy, you'll see the same thing. I took a kitten in that had had its tail burnt off. And it never for 1 minute thought it was less lovable because it didn't have a tail. It didn't know anything else except to think it was lovable. It would wind itself around my leg, come and lie on me, climb up right onto my shoulder, and it was tiny because it thought it was lovable, and it would turn up on my lap and go, here I am, and your job is to see I'm lovable. And a baby will do the same thing. Here I am, and your job is to celebrate that I'm lovable. And only if you kick that cat or push it away or kick that puppy or constantly say to the baby, I'm busy, go away, stop bothering me, why are you so naughty? Do they form a different belief? Oh, no, perhaps I'm not lovable. These people shout at me. They don't like me. They don't celebrate me. Because a baby is born expecting to be celebrated. No baby says, gosh, my mom is really tired and my dad's working a night shift, so I shouldn't really wake up in the middle of the night and disturb them. No baby says, you know, my mom went to Whole Foods and bought this organic broccoli and I don't like it, but I should eat it because it might upset her. Babies are focused on their own love. They spit out food. They throw up all over their brand new dress, your brand new dress. They wake you up when they want to be woken up, and they fall asleep when they want to fall asleep. And they expect to be celebrated. And the very good news is you came onto the planet fully expecting to be celebrated. And many of us, including me, weren't celebrated. We heard the other stuff. What's wrong with you? Why can't you do that? Why aren't you like your sister? Your brother, he could tie his own shoelaces at 5. Your sister, she was so neat and tidy. Your brother would eat anything I gave him. Your sister never made a mess. or maybe your cousin or your friend, and we start to get compared, and the comparison chips away at our belief that we're lovable, and we start to think, maybe I'm not. And then parents say these weird things to children. I love you because you're so clever. I love you because you're so smart. I love you because you're good. And you see, when you label a child, you limit them. Even a good label, I love you because you're beautiful. You know what the child hears? And if I wasn't, you wouldn't. I love you because you're clever. Right. And if I wasn't, I love you because you're good. I worked with a girl just in April who had absolutely suicidal depression. She turned up on my course and kept telling everyone she wanted to kill herself. And so she came up and we had a look at her history. And she said that when she was born, her mother told her this story. Oh, your brother, he was such a terrible baby. He got everything wrong. He was up all night, slept all day. He nearly killed me. He was a nightmare. He was a problem child. And she heard, gosh, well, if he nearly killed her, I can't come along with him. I must be good. And she was so good, always good. Was a good girl, never made a fuss, never made an issue, got good grades, tidied the house, didn't date boys, and then married and was still a good girl and was trying to be so good it was actually killing her. And in that one session, we removed the need that she must be good because it was affecting her marriage, her parenting skills, and her relationship with her parents, who were both teachers, by the way, and wouldn't just tell her she must be good. They'd come home and say, oh, we have this one child in the class. What a joy it is. This child is so clever, so smart, so kind, so good. And so she heard this message a lot. So when you label a child, you limit them. I had a stunningly beautiful girl who came to see me. She said, I just can't find love. I don't know what's wrong with me, but can't find love. Every guy I date never wants to see me again. They all disappoint me. And she was very pretty. And men are superficial, sorry, but in the beginning, we go for looks. That's not enough to keep a relationship. But the fact that she didn't get a second date was a little odd. And when I took her back, she went back to the same scene over and over again. Her dad would sit her on his knee and go, nobody will ever love you like I do. You will never, ever find anyone to love you like me. Nobody could love you. It's not possible. And he loved her so much, he'd tell her this every time. You never find anyone to love you like me. No man will ever love you like I do. It's not possible for any man to love you like me. When you have a small child and an authority figure and a repeated message, it becomes an imprint. And her imprint was, you'll never find anyone to love you like me. And she didn't. And I remembered her when I was holding my baby, and my best friend had a baby at the same time, and we were feeding our babies. And she started to say, you'll never find anyone to love you like me. Nobody will ever love you as much as me. Nobody could ever love you like I do. And I said, Philippa, stop saying that. Here's what you say to a baby. You know, I don't want to be bossy here. You're a new mom, so am I. But I've had so many clients in my office in tears, and they always go back to that programming. And I said, what you say to a baby is, I love you so much because you are lovable, and your whole life you'll find people who love you because you're lovable. I told that to my daughter over and over again. She still had issues with crazy boys that hurt her, but she always felt she deserved more. She felt she deserved better. She knew she was lovable. So with well-meaning parents who say, you'll never find love like me, nobody could love you like that, or here's another issue. You see mom crying all the time because she's let down by a guy. Then another guy lets her down, and that child forms a belief. Love hurts. Love is painful. Here's that song, Love Hurts, Love Wounds, Love Bruised. As we hear all these songs, I'm dying without love. I can't live without your love. And so we form these beliefs. Oh, love is that painful thing. My mom is always crying. My dad is always fighting, saying, you trapped me, this is hell. Maybe your mother is saying that. Be very careful here about doing this gender stereotyping. I know we have people who are in love with the same sex. My children's godparents were gay because I knew they'd be great godparents because they decided not to have their own children, and they are to this day. So it doesn't matter what kind of love you want. It's not about the gender, it's about your belief. And then we have a third one. So we have the well-meaning parents who say you'll never find love. We have the parents whose own love relationship is a car crash and we look at that and go, oh, I don't want that. Oh, I'd rather be my own than have that. And then people say, you know, oh my God, it killed me when that relationship ended. I'd rather die than go through it again. Then we have group 3 where people say, well, you know, if you keep eating cake, you'll get fat. Nobody will love you. If you keep doing that, you won't find love. Don't ever let that person see you walking around like that with uncombed hair and hairy legs, because they won't like that. And my mother said that to me one day. My boyfriend was telling, I was in a dressing gown. She went, oh, get dressed. He won't love you if you look like that. I said, no, he will love me however I look. But both my mother and grandmother said to me, quick, run upstairs, do your hair, take off that dressing gown. He won't love you if you don't look perfect. And then we have far worse things. One of my clients said her father said, well, no one's going to love you. You're like your mother. You've got nothing to offer a guy. So we get this message. And then we get an even worse message from magazines. You get love if you're perfect. If you look, magazines do so much damage. The internet does so much damage. We're exposed over and over again to fake images of what a lovable person looks like. Shiny, glossy hair, perfect breasts, super skinny, always smiling, perfect teeth. It's not really like that, but the media tells us it is. So that's how you buy into I'm not lovable. You read magazines, you watch TV shows, you watch Friends. I mean, who's ever met a waitress who lives in Central Park? Not me. But we see these problems. We think, well, I'm not lovable. We compare ourselves to images that are fake. So how do you believe you're lovable? What do you do to fix it? Do you know it's so easy? How do you tell yourself you're lovable? I'm going to give you 3 things that you do. The first thing is you look in the mirror every day and you go, hey, there you are, you lovable creature. You might say, I feel a bit stupid doing that. Who cares? Do you look in there and go, oh my God, there you are, look at your hair. You should have put more makeup on, or, you know, that doesn't suit you, or, gosh, you know, you should have got a better outfit. That shirt needs pressing, that tie has got to send it. We look in the mirror and we begin the criticism. So I want you every day to look in the mirror and go, there you are, I love you. I know it seems silly, but it doesn't matter if it's silly. If it makes you feel lovable and attract a great person, do it. Because I'd do anything to find the love of my life. Well, here's the first thing. Look in the mirror and go, I love you. I can't do that. You just said you do anything. Yeah, anything but that. No, that's it. That's the first step. It's easy, it's free, it's immediate, it's not painful. Why won't you do that? Well, I don't believe it. I know, that's why you've got to do it, and then you'll believe it. The mind learns by repetition. The mind couldn't care less what you tell it, it lets it in. So the first thing you must do, and I want you to commit to doing it, is to say, there you are, I love you. There you are, you're lovable. You know, I do yoga a lot, and I find that I bend over. When I stand up, I sort of go, oh, there you are, hi, there you are, you lovable thing. And I do that a lot. In fact, I don't really need to do it now because I've done it so much that I'm okay. I had an agony column on Cosmo. Girls would write to me and go, oh, you know, I met this guy and he loved me. Now he's dumped me and now I'm nothing. I'm worthless without him. And I tell them the truth, listen, everything he liked about you is still in you. Yes, he left you, but everything he said, I love your hair, I love your voice, you're so funny, you're so sexy, you're so interesting, it's not gone away. He's gone away. She's gone away, but what they loved in you is still there. And the most important word you will ever hear in your whole life, and not what some guy or girl told you, it's what you tell you. Other people can say, I love you, you're amazing. You go, oh, I'm so happy I found someone to love me. And then they leave and you go, now I'm miserable because they took their love away. They gave me their love and then they took it away. You know, you gave them your power to allow them to make you feel lovable. And if you give that power to someone else, you give them the same power to take it away. You took your love away. Don't take your love away. I'll die without your love. I can't live without you. Yes, you can. I've been dumped. I've been very painfully dumped. I know what it's like to wake up and go, oh, because someone I loved has walked out. I was a single parent. I brought my daughter up on my own for some time. And I definitely know what it's like to be left, to be rejected. But I also began to realize that only I can make myself feel lovable. So the first thing, you have got to look in the mirror and go, I love you. I love you. Don't say I love you because today you're thinner. Today you've got on nice clothes. Today you look better. Just, I love you. It's unconditional love. You'd never say to her, I love you. Because today I would never say to my husband, I love you because you got a nice shirt on. I love you because you look nice. I love you because you emptied the dishwasher. I love you because you went out and bought me some coffee. That would be a terrible thing. I love him because he's him and he loves me because I'm me. And you love your friends with all their faults and you love your kids. Who would say to your kid, I love you because you're earning my love, and you've got to earn it, you've got to work for it, you've got to deserve it, you've got to chase it. No. I love you is unconditional. That's the first thing you do. I love you. And I want you to repeat some things after me right now. And they may feel silly, funny, they may stick in your throat. I don't care. The mind learns by repetition. Let's go. I want you to say, I accept myself as lovable. Say it right now. I accept myself as lovable. And now let's do another one. I see myself as lovable. Let's say it together. I see myself as lovable. I believe in myself as lovable. Remember, the most important words you will ever hear in your entire life are the words you say to yourself. The most important opinion for you is your own opinion. When you know you're lovable, you know what happens? It resonates out there and the world comes back and says, oh, you're lovable. You think so. I think so. Lovable is not arrogant. It's the arrogant people don't think they're lovable. They're so busy trying to make you think it because they don't believe it. The people who know it don't go, hey, look at me, I'm lovable. They don't have any need to shout it from the rooftop. They know it. They know it. They resonate it. It's sexy. Confidence is sexy. Self-worth is sexy. Self-esteem is sexy. So let's go back. I accept myself as lovable. Say that. I believe in myself as lovable. I see myself as lovable. I easily give love to others. I easily accept the love that others have for me. I am filled and nourished by the love other people have for me, and I fill and nourish other people with my love. So you have to start saying that. You can make yourself a little recording, you can write it on your mirror, you can put it on your screensaver, you could put it on your phone alerts. I accept myself as lovable. I believe in myself as lovable. I easily give love to others. I easily accept the love that others have me. I'm filled and nourished by the love that surrounds me, and I fill and nourish others with my love. Make that a mantra. I don't really like the word affirmations. I find them very ambiguous. Life's a walk in the park. No, it isn't always. Sometimes it's raining and you step in dog poo, and it's not always a walk in the park. But I like what I call statements of truth, and this is your statement of truth. You must say it. You must say it all the time. So you've got point 1 and 2. Look in the mirror. I love you. Repeat those statements. Write them down. Now the third thing, the most important thing about being lovable. I want you to take a minute and think about if you had the best boyfriend, husband in the world, if you had the most phenomenal girlfriend, the best wife anyone could ever have, what would they say? Take a minute. If you had the love of your life who was wildly in love with you, and of course you're in love with them because it's no good having someone that loves you if you don't love them back, but you're perfect person, the one, what would they say to you? They would say stuff like, I love you because you're you. I ring your phone just to hear your voice. I love coming home to you. I love waking up to you. You have the best smile. There's something about you. You know that song, Something in the Way She Moves? You know, great love songs. No one says, I love you because you're a fantastic barrister. I love you because you're the best dentist in Beverly Hills. They say other things. I love you. Something in the way you move. I love your voice. I love the curve. I love you. I love you. So what would your ideal person say to you? Maybe you can write it down. Get a pen and write down what your ideal love match would say to you, and then start to say it yourself. I love you. I love waking up to you. I love coming home to you. Sounds kind of weird that you're now saying what your ideal guy or girl would say, but when you say things, the mind doesn't go, who's saying that? Where's that coming from? It lets it in like lotion on skin. And the fastest way to find love is to say the stuff you want to hear. You want to be a magnet, a love magnet that attracts love, because when you feel you're lovable, it happens. You know, my husband asked me to marry him. We're just coming up to our 9-year anniversary tomorrow, actually. So he asked me to marry him, and it was very romantic. And the next day I had to fly to Spain, and I went through security, put my laptop down. And as I got through, this guy ran up and went, "Hey, I think you dropped this bit of paper." And I didn't drop a bit of paper. And he said to me, I'm really sorry, but there's just something about you. I just need to know you. And can I have a coffee with you? I said, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I'm rushing to get my plane." And he was hitting on me, but I didn't mind. I said, "It's so sweet, and thank you so much. But, you know, I'm getting married." And he said, "Oh, of course you are." And I said, "Well, you can get married too, just not to me." And we had a little chat, and I didn't make him feel bad, and I got my plane. No one has ever done that to me before, and I fly every few weeks. But it was because I just got engaged. I felt so lovable. I felt so wanted, so loved, and so desired, and it was radiating from me. It was, you know, what is it? It's so weird. Relationship like buses. I waited 2 years to find someone. I found them the next week. Someone hit on me, and then someone else did. Because you feel lovable if someone loves you, but that someone has to be you. So I want you to think about all the great things you would hear and say them to yourself. You know, I see people do this. I hate Valentine's Day. I hate it. You know, I can't bear seeing all those women walking home with flowers. I haven't got any flowers. Send yourself flowers. Send yourself a card. I've had many Valentine's Day without stuff. I buy myself something. I go, yep, I'll send myself a Valentine. I see that with my daughter and all her friends, that, oh, if I don't have someone on Christmas Day, on Valentine's, on New Year, you have got someone. You've got you. A lifelong romance begins with you. It doesn't end with you. So that's how you know you're lovable. Praise yourself. There is nothing that will build your self-esteem like praise. Don't let someone else do it. You look amazing in that dress, but you look really horrible in those pants. No, it's you. Don't give anyone else permission to make you feel lovable or unlovable. You do it. Look in the mirror, say those things. Give yourself the praise you always wanted. And if you're going on a date, before you go, stop and go, I'm lovable. Yeah, these clothes are great, but I'm lovable. I am lovable, lovable, lovable. If you want to go and talk to someone in a bar or on the street or on a bus stop, take a minute and go, I'm lovable. I'm a warm, good person. Love is all around you. It's everywhere. It's in the street. It's in the store. It's in a bus stop. I'm going to end very quickly with, Cosmopolitan asked me to make a recording on being lovable because I was their agony aunt. And I did. And people wrote to me and said, just the weirdest thing. I listened to that recording, and the next door neighbor came up to me. I'd lived next to this guy for 4 years. I'd never even seen him. He'd never seen me. And suddenly, I don't know, the stars collided. He was in my way. I was in his, and we're together. Someone else, I listened to that recording. I went to my supermarket, and someone came out and went, I'm really sorry, I don't do this, but there's just something about you. And can I talk to you? Can I have a coffee with you? And so many people got married from that recording because it made them feel lovable. Whatever you focus on, you get more of. When you focus on you're not lovable, you get more of it. When you focus on I'm lovable. So if someone that you love has left you, remind yourself everything they loved about you is still there, and you can find another great person. But in order to find love, don't change your hair, your weight, your shape, your size. There's one thing you need to find love, one. And here it is. Believe you are worth it. Tell yourself you're lovable. I mean, if you look like Angelina Jolie, does that make you have love? Jennifer Aniston? No. Some of the most beautiful women in the world get dumped. Some of the most gorgeous guys get left because they don't think they're lovable. The one thing you need to find love, maintain love for the rest of your life. And it isn't just in your marriage. To have a great relationship with your in-laws, with your boss, with your friends, with your own kids. You have to know you are lovable. It changes everything forever. We need connection. It makes us feel whole. It makes us feel happy. Many, many studies worldwide have shown that it's our relationships with people that make us happy. It's not shopping. It's not stuff. It's certainly not money. It's not promotion, it's our connection with people. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. And it's worse because of social media, because we connect superficially. It's worse because we live in a world where we don't have to connect. We don't have to grocery shop. We never have to set foot in a store. You can walk into a store anyway and pay for your stuff at the automatic teller. You can order an Uber. You can actually go through your whole week and never speak to anyone. But it withers your soul. So that's important. But here's the second important thing that blocks connection. It's a fear of rejection. If you know me, you might reject. If I speak to you, you might laugh at me. You know, let's imagine you're a 20-year-old woman. You could ring up your friend and go, hey, do you want to come to the cinema? Or I'm a bit bored. Do you want to hang out? But imagine you like someone. You think, should I ring him up or her up? I can't, because I might go, what, with you? Of course I don't want to come out. I don't even know you. You're not my type. So our fear of rejection is a big block. It's a huge barrier. We stop connecting because our great fear that we might be rejected. The way to get connection, the way to succeed at massive, wonderful, life-affirming, gorgeous connection is to understand that you cannot be rejected. And one of the things that will change your life, I promise you, I guarantee you, this one step will change your life. Do not let in rejection. Don't let in destructive criticism. I can already hear you saying, how can I do that? Well, let me tell you, because I want to give you stuff. I want to help you today get more and more connected by being less and less rejected. So when someone comes up and says something really, really mean, like, you look like a guy in drag, or I hate the way you've cut your hair, doesn't suit you. Yeah, I read your book, it was awful. I listened to that talk you gave at work, it was terrible. I came to your house and I hated it. I hated that dinner you cooked. I hated that party you put on. I don't like your boyfriend. Your kids are obnoxious. Whatever someone says, you just go, thanks for sharing that, or thank you, or that's an interesting opinion. Thank you very much. You'd never say, how dare you say that to me? That's so rude. You have hurt my feelings. When you respond to a criticism, you've let it in. If someone says to you, gosh, you've gained weight, doesn't suit you, and you go, well, you're not actually Twiggy yourself, and who do you think you are? And you're a bit fat, or you try losing weight on my salary. I can't afford healthy food. You've let it in. And when you just go, thanks for sharing, I'm very happy with the way I look, you haven't let it in. And I know it sounds almost too good to be true, because it is. Saying to someone, thanks for sharing, thank you for your opinion, thanks for your comment, is saying, I've heard what you said, and it's not going in. And even today, someone wrote me a lovely, lovely email saying, you know, I just did your course, your I'm Enough course, and somebody was being really mean to me. And I just smiled and said, thank you for sharing. Thanks for your opinion. And they said, why aren't you being nasty back? And she went, well, I'm not letting it in. Be yourself, be real, be vulnerable. And here's the biggest thing of all, believe you are worth it. If you want to connect to people, you don't have to change your weight, your shape, your size, your job, your hair. Only thing you've got to change is this belief that you're not worth it and you could be rejected. To the truth, everybody wants connection. You're not alone. Our greatest fear is to be rejected. And if you fear it, you're just like everyone else and they're like you. And if you believe I'm worthy of love, I deserve love, I deserve connection, if you keep saying it, you will find it. So here's something else for you to consider. You know, so many of us think, I want someone to love me. I'm going to go out. Oh, could you love me? Could you love me? Here I am. Could you love me? Could you make me feel better? Someone go, yeah, sure, I can do that. I can love you. What do you need? You need praise, compliments, a nice dinner? Give you all of that. The problem is they might one day take it away again and go, I'm bored with you now, or we're not compatible, this is just not working out, or I'm being transferred out of town, and now you're back to, oh my God, no one's meeting my needs. We all have unmet needs. When you were a kid, you needed to feel safe, you needed to feel loved, you needed to feel protected and valued. And if those needs weren't met, I bet you that you go out in the world and go, could you make me feel safe? Could you make me feel loved? Could you make me feel I matter? Don't do that. Do it to yourself. Take a minute, even now, let's do it together. Think of what the most amazing parent would say to you, what the most amazing boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife would say, what a friend who thought you were the best thing ever would say to you. And let's do it now. I want you to say out loud, as if you are that great parent, that great friend, you're amazing. You're amazing. I'm so glad I'm in your life. How lucky am I to have you as a friend? How lucky am I to be your parent? I'm proud of you. You're great. You might feel really silly saying this, but let me promise you something. When you say the words you've always wanted to hear, your mind doesn't go, who's saying that? Where's that coming from? It lets it in. If you put Vaseline on chapped lips, it sinks in. Your mind doesn't think, where's that from? Is it fair trade? Is it organic? It just lets it in because your dry skin needs to be nourished. You need to be nourished with words. So again, I want you to think about what you most needed to hear. It's always the same. I love you. I'm proud of you. You're amazing. You're a great friend. I love your company. Do it with me now. It doesn't matter if you feel silly. It only matters that it works. So let's go. Pretend you're the friend, the boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, parent you've always wanted to have, and say, I love you. You're the greatest. You're the best. I love your company. You're funny. You're interesting. You're great. And I want you to commit to doing that every day. And now I'm going to say it to you. And you're going to let it sink in. You are amazing. You are worthy of love. You're deserving of love. You're enough. You're great. You're a great friend. You're a great kid. You're a great adult. You're a great person. You're a great employer, employee. You're a great boss. You're a great sister, brother, relative. You are great. You're great just the way you are. And because you're great just the way you are, and because we all need connection, you can connect. People can connect to you. I want you to believe you have this magnetic ability to connect, like iron filings to a magnet. And if you keep waking up every day and saying, I have a magnetic ability to connect, you'll connect to me. I have a wonderful magnetic connecting personality. If you say it, I have a wonderful connecting magnetic personality. If you say it every day, it will become true. Because every word you say is a blueprint that you become. We also have a great program called I Am Enough. And I'm Enough was created to help people find connection. You're right, and go, oh my God, that program changed my life. Oh my God, that was amazing. Even this week, I've had so many letters saying I'm speaking differently, I'm acting differently, I'm connecting differently, my relationship is better, my friendships are better, all because of this program called I'm Enough. So it has 8 modules, and one of them, they're not in any particular order, is finding your purpose. You know, when you find your purpose in life and do what you are meant to do, your life is amazing. If you want to make your life a masterpiece, find your purpose, do what you're meant to do. Don't do what your grandmother said you should do, or your parents wanted you to do. Do what you were meant to do. I was always going to be a teacher, but I realized I was meant to be a therapist. That's my purpose. I was meant to help people. It's why I'm on the planet. I know that, and it helps. And other people say, you know, I know. I mean, so many people write to me and go, wow, I had no idea why I was even here. But that module, you took me back and I went back to what I'm meant to do, what I'm supposed to do. And doing what I'm meant to do gives me meaning and purpose. And guess what else it gives you? It gives you connection. When you do what you love, you can never, ever, ever be rejected because you're doing it because you love it, not because it pays well, or you're in the family firm, or you couldn't think what else to do. The second part is the habits of success, what it is that super duper successful people do, because I've worked with them for 30 years, and I can tell you now, they don't do that much differently to you, but they do a few things differently. And you can adopt, acquire, and learn those things. And if you do, you can have the same level of success. One of the modules which is really good is the one that shows you how your mind works. Your mind should be your best friend. It should be your most supportive ally. It should believe in you and encourage you. And if your mind goes, "Are you going to mess that up? Oh no, you've done that all wrong," that's because you're not understanding how to dialogue with your mind. So the secrets of your mind, the secrets of really successful people, how to make that work for you. And then we have something about your health, your relationship with your body, your relationship with food. And it's not about, oh, here's another module about dieting, going to the gym and eating fruit. Many people write in and go, wow, I don't get headaches since I did that module. My skin has cleared up since I did that module. I'm getting up and going out. In fact, today someone said to me, I can't now spend ages on Facebook or watching rubbish programs because you seem to have wired into me a need to take care of myself. People are saying they love the saying, I matter. The most important word you will ever hear in your whole life come from you, because you can powerfully interrupt poor health and have amazing health, amazing weight, shape, size, skin, hair, you name it. Attracting a loving relationship and maintaining it. That's important. Because I can attract love. I go to the local bar. I can find a guy or a girl. But that's not about it. It's about attracting and maintaining a beautiful, nourishing, loving relationship for the rest of your life. Knowing that you're enough. That's a module all on its own. People say, wow, I love that. What I love the most about I'm Enough is that every day someone writes in and goes, that was my favorite. I love module 1 or 3 or 7 or 8. No one says, we all love module 5. And I love the fact that each person loves something different. Only today, somebody said to me, can I give you some feedback? This has changed my entire life. In fact, I was listening to it and I went to switch on. My husband said, leave that on. It's changing our entire family. Haven't you noticed that you're so calm, that our kids are calm? Other people say, I'm actually doing this with my children. Many teachers say, I'm doing this with a class. And it's so different. And then finally, having a powerful sex life all your life. And another person wrote, so when I got that program, I thought, well, I don't need that one. I'm going to do the 7. That one doesn't, but oh my God, the reaction I'm getting in bed, the orgasms I'm having, the difference. My husband's like, I don't even know who you are, but whoever you are, stay like that. And so each person will find something they love. And what I love about I'm Enough is it isn't just about the modules, it's about the tribe. I know how much connection is a need. And you connect to a tribe and they're there for you and you're there for them. And yes, they are a tribe on Facebook. Many people meet each other and go, yeah, we've met, we've connected. I found friends. I'm dating someone that I met in that tribe. I've now found someone in my community. So I want you to connect by knowing that you're enough. You don't have to do the I'm Enough program. You can just take what I told you today. Why are we so nice? Why are we too nice? Why do we think, I don't want to upset someone, so I make their opinion more important than mine. I'll make their needs more important than my needs. Because when you do that, when you put someone else in front of you, you're putting yourself last. Our culture, our background, our religion, our parents, our community, all combine to teach us a message very early on. Be nice, be good, earn approval, don't be difficult, don't be selfish, don't be mean. And what we really hear is don't express your opinion, share your toys, be nice to everybody. And that's very hard when we're a child, because what we hear is swallow your feelings, keep everything in, put a smile on your face, turn that frown upside down. But when we hear that a lot and go through life, we begin to think, oh, my opinion doesn't matter. My feelings don't matter. My parents have told me, don't make a fuss, don't draw attention, don't ask for something I want, doesn't get. And as children, we know one thing: I will survive if the people that are raising me like me and accept me. And we develop a terrible fear of rejection. You know, it's absolutely true that once upon a time, we needed connection and avoiding rejection just to survive, but nowadays we really don't. Nobody wants to be rejected, but we spend so long avoiding rejection. I won't say that in case you don't like me. I won't make a fuss in case you think I'm difficult. I won't share my opinion just in case you don't agree with it. But you have an opinion and you must share it. You must believe that just because someone else has a different belief, you don't have to agree with it. They don't have to agree with you. But your feelings are the most real thing you have. And when you push them down, when you eat your feelings, drink your feelings, shop your feelings, Netflix your feelings, they don't go away. They regroup and they come back stronger than ever. And I see many clients who can't say no. They can never say no. And because they can't say no, every yes is a disguised no. And they go, you know, I'm really fed up at work. Every week I got to give $20 to someone at someone's wedding, someone's birthday, someone's something, and I'm really fed up. And there's someone I greatly admire. I go, well, I don't even know that person. No, I'm not giving another $20. I've never met them. I don't know who they are. I want to be like that. Well, why don't you do it? Well, I'm scared I wouldn't be popular. But you just told me you deeply admire this person who can say no. I know, but I can't. And so often it is just conditioning. Until you can say no, yes has no meaning. So if you are being nice to make everyone else happy, but your happiness is suffering, then that's not working. If you put everyone else in front of you, make everyone else first, and you are last, it isn't working. So being nice because you're nice and kind and warm and wonderful is great. But being nice because society expects that of you, because you're scared you won't be liked if you're not nice. Going out of your way to accommodate other people, giving them more money than you have, lending them money, giving them your stuff, going out of your way to give them a lift to work, allowing people to treat you in a way that isn't good enough, doesn't help you. And it doesn't help them because people push us as far as we allow ourselves. We push. When you go, no, I'm sorry, that just doesn't feel comfortable. No, I'm sorry, I can't do that. You see, people used to write to me when I had my advice column and say, hey, my neighbor always says, can you babysit? And I go, I'm so tired. They go, oh, it's only for 2 hours, don't worry. I'll bring them over, they'll just go to sleep. And people don't even listen to their no's. Could you lend me money? I don't really have any. I know, but just put it on your card. I promise I'll give it you back. He says, sometimes when you say no, people don't even listen to your no. They go straight over it. And you have to have the power to say, thank you, but actually no, I can't lend you anything. No, I absolutely cannot babysit for your kids tonight. I have other plans. And don't even say, sorry, I'm so sorry I can't lend you money. I feel so bad I can't babysit your kids. I'm sorry I can't drive out of my way to always give you a lift to work. It just isn't convenient. Just say, I can't do that because I have other plans, I have other financial commitments. I can't help you. I have to say no. And when you can say that, you feel so good about yourself that it doesn't even matter if the other person says, what, you can't help me? You know, I now am working with women who are getting sucked in online. People who go, oh, hey, we're dating, you're so great, but hey, I've got this big tax bill. I've got a kid who's ill. Could you send me $5,000? They're like, I feel like this is a scam, but they said their kid is really sick. I'm the only person. And when you go, I'm so sorry, but hey, we've just met and I don't have $5,000 for your child, but I'm sure in your life you have people you've known longer than 10 minutes that can find the money. I can't. And one of my clients said that when she told them, and he went, "Thank you, you're now going to kill my son." But the next day he'd taken all his profile down. Of course it was a scam. And who gets scammed? Who lends people money and they don't get it back? Who does too much for other people? People who want to be nice. So if you're being nice in order not to get rejected, in order to get approval, guess what's happening? You're rejecting yourself because you're not putting yourself first. And other people go, "Oh, she's so great, he's so great." You know, they'll do anything for anyone, but you don't approve of yourself. So remember, the most important opinion you will ever hear in your whole life is the opinion you have about you. And the most important word you'll ever hear are the words you say to yourself. So how can we undo this? First of all, you need to practice saying no. See, when you were a baby, you said no way more times than you ever said yes. Babies say no, no, no all the time until we teach them, don't say no, don't you say no to me. It's very rude to say no, say yes. It's much easier when you're a kid to say no than yes. So how can you be nice but stop being too nice? How can you be nice and kind and lovable but stop making everyone else's needs more important than your needs? First of all, recognize, where did this need to be a people pleaser, a nice person come from? Take a look. Because as a baby, if your mother came at you with pureed broccoli, you go, no. You'd even spit it out all over your t-shirt because you didn't care too much then. Babies are all concerned with themselves. So recognize where you acquired this need to be nice, to be good, because I promise you weren't born with it, you acquired it. Secondly, identify the origin of these limiting beliefs. Was it your mother, your father, your teacher, your culture that said, sugar, what are little girls made of? Sugar and spice and all things nice, which is just silly. It's just conditioning. And if you're a guy, why do you want to be a nice guy, a good guy, a kind guy? Just look at where you got these beliefs from, and remember, you make your beliefs, and then your beliefs turn around and make you, and your beliefs are yours to change. You can be nice, but don't be excessively nice. Don't be too nice. Don't be a pushover, a walkover. Don't allow people to take advantage of your goodness and your niceness by always being the person they can turn to for money, for help, for time. Don't always be that person. By all means, be that person sometimes, but don't let that be your only identity. And build your self-esteem. Build your self-esteem by doing something I find amazing, which is, whose need is more important? My friend wants to borrow money, but I need that money for my bills. So my need is more important than her need. My friend wants you to have her kids all Saturday, but I need time to myself. I've worked really hard. My need is more important than her need. So if you always ask yourself whose need is more important, sometimes you'll say, well, my friend's sick, they've got a terrible time. I'm the only person who can have the child. In this instance, I'm going to make their need more important than mine, but I can still put in boundaries. I can have your child for 3 hours. You know, many, many years ago, somebody that I didn't know that well said, could you have my baby in the evening? I'm going out. And she didn't come back for 24 hours. I was so shocked that she would take advantage of me in that way. I was worried. And when she came back, I said, you know, never ask me to babysit for your little girl again. That was a terrible thing that you did. You didn't even call. And you knew that I would accept that. But then I met another girl who said to me, you know, I did that. And the person who had my child called social services, and they took her off me because I gave her to a neighbor, went out partying for 2 days, and when I came back they had removed my child because that neighbor said, well, this is wrong. The kind of person who can give their child to a neighbor for 2 days needs reporting. They had enough self-esteem. I didn't do that, but I certainly told her never abuse me like that again. And that was terrible for her child too. But when you're a nice person, people push you and push you and push you until you say, okay, let me show you how far I'm going to be pushed. And it's not very far. If you date someone who is always late, always canceling, if you have a friend who doesn't buy you gifts and you buy them gifts and takes advantage of you, remind yourself of the balance of a relationship, the balance of friendship. It should be equal. And always ask yourself a question, whose need is more important here? My need. To be honest with myself and to have inner peace is more important than your need to take advantage of me. And remember that people who are evolved can speak the truth. They can run and go, listen, you're my best friend. I really want to have you. It simply isn't possible. You're my friend, but no, I can't have you to stay for the whole week because I've already got people coming. Try not to lie. Sometimes you can be economical with the truth, but never put yourself last. When you put yourself last, you will pay a price. If you want to be nice to yourself, honor yourself. You see, I'm just going to show you something here. You see, this is where we are. Here's being a martyr. Oh, I do everything for anyone. I feel I've got to do that. And here's being someone ruthless who allows you to do that. And in the middle, it's called honoring yourself. So you don't have to be a martyr, don't have to be ruthless. Honor yourself. What do I want? What do I need? How do I feel when people take advantage of me? I feel so bad. So why am I letting it happen? Well, if I don't, they won't like me. And remember, if you do, you don't like yourself. And the most important thing is to like yourself. That is how you build self-esteem. Like yourself, accept yourself, believe in yourself, practice speaking your truth and know that people like you because you're real. Don't have to be perfect. Work out why you like your friends and you'll find none of them are perfect. It's not even possible to be perfect. Just be you. Be your authentic you. Practice saying no. Build your self-esteem. So please watch my free I Am Enough masterclass so that you are enough to say no, to be lovely, to be nice, but not to a point where it hurts you. So here's the biggest mistake we make. We expect our partner to be psychic, to be a clairvoyant, to know what we're feeling, to know what we're thinking, and to know what we need. And I see many people do this. What's wrong? Nothing? You seem a bit upset. Nope, I'm fine. Everything in your body language is saying, I'm upset, but you expect your partner to know why you're upset when you haven't even told them. And when you're in a heterosexual relationship, it's even more confusing because men expect their female partner to act like a guy, and women often expect the male to act like a female. You know, one of my clients came in and said, I can never make my wife happy. I come in at the end of the day and she starts to tell me what's happened. The dog was sick. The daughter forgot her lunchbox. The boss, and he goes, oh, well, what I would have done then is, you know, you need to have that lunchbox by the front door. You need to explain to your boss. And she said, I don't want that. Why does he keep trying to fix it when I just want him to hear? And I said, you know what? You got to become her best girlfriend. You got to say things like this, oh, I hate that for you. He said, really? I said, yeah. She is looking to know that you have heard her. So when she gives the list, the dog ran away, the daughter forgot the lunchbox, her boss at work was so mean, don't offer solutions. Become her best girlfriend. Go, baby, I hate that for you. That's horrible. And he said, wow. Came back and said, I never knew it. Just going, oh, becoming like a girlfriend to my wife. It's amazing. Some of you might say, well, I'm never going to do that. But for him, it really worked. You know, I had a situation many, many, many years ago. My father was ill. He'd had a surgery and he nearly died under anesthetic, so they had to do it again. And there was a big chance he wouldn't survive. And I had to call him and effectively say goodbye to him. And I was psyching myself for this call. And I was very emotional. And then when I picked up the phone, my then partner just left and went to play golf. I'm like, wow, he is not my partner anymore. I'm feeling vulnerable, sad, and emotional. And his response is to go and play golf. What a cold, mean, horrible, nasty person. When he came back, I said, how could you do that? He went, oh, I thought you'd really appreciate being left alone, because me, if I was about to have that conversation with my dad and I'd be tearful as a man, I wouldn't want anyone around. So I left you as an act of kindness to cope with your grief without being humiliated. So you see what went on there? He did what a man would do, and I wanted to do what a girl would do. And there's a disconnect. And in all of these disconnections, you go, he doesn't care, she doesn't care, they don't care, when really they're doing what they think you want them to do, or what they would like you to do to them. And I see that in sex a lot. Women say, I want you to stroke my hair and stroke my men are like, just grab me in the crotch. That's what I really want. So I'll just grab you in the crotch. And we're like, what? That's not what I want. Where's my seduction? But you have to come at it, even in same-sex relationships. So my husband told me, darling, I could only shop for 2 hours. I'm like, great, 2 hours, that's good. So we go to a shop and he said, let's have lunch first. We have lunch. Then he goes, okay, got 30 minutes left to shop. I'm like, no, that's not right. I thought we had 2 hours of shopping. No, we have 2 hours. Park the car, go for lunch, and whatever time is left is to shop. So now I went, right, we'll do that. We're going to shop first now. And when we finish shopping, we go, oh, look, we've got 15 minutes for lunch, but that's our deal. So we just have to constantly explain. I love it when my husband goes out for the whole evening because I love time to myself. He'll go out and I've just got my box set. I'm on the phone to my girlfriends. He comes back. I thought I'd come back early. I'm like, no, I was just getting my whole evening started. He loves company, doesn't ever like to be alone. I love being alone sometimes. So I have to explain to him, when you're out, please don't come back early for me. Come back early for you. I love the whole evening to myself. So the first thing is to understand, is your partner doing what they think you want them to do? Because that's what they want you to do to them. The second is to not think, well, if they are doing that, they're doing it to hurt me. They've forgotten my birthday, they don't care. They bought me a really cheap gift and that's all I mean to them. They're not celebrating the way I want to celebrate. And the only way you can get this mistake to go away is to really set up a dialogue. Okay, we're together, my birthday is really important. If you say we have an hour together to talk and you're looking at your phone or scrolling through your emails, that's not an hour together. If you say we're going out or you're cooking dinner to have a lovely evening, leave all the dishes everywhere and go to bed and don't do anything, it doesn't work. I said to my husband one day, you know, when we're downstairs, occasionally I'm going to bed and you just get up and go to bed. And then I have to lock all the doors and windows and I don't feel protected. I want you to always lock up so I feel you're concerned about my safety. He loved that. He's like a man protecting me. Now, every night, he checks all the doors. And because I told him nicely, baby, when you just get off the sofa and go to bed, I don't feel cared about. You leave me to lock all the doors. But I said it in a nice way. And now he understands it's not important to him, very important to me. So sit down with your partner and talk. Because you know what I see happen? People go, he's not the right person. She's not the right person. They don't meet my needs. They don't know what I want. They don't understand. You know what they do? Upgrade them. Swipe left. Get someone new. We get rid of people like we get rid of our phone. And it's so easy to start again, but all my clients that do that say, you know what happened? I got a new partner and the same problems happened with a new one. They were just as bad as the last one, just as unthinking, just as uncaring, just as insensitive. And I'm like, oh, do you think there's a pattern here? Do you know for most people, not all, but for most, it's actually easier to make an existing relationship better, to make an existing relationship work, than to go for a new one and take the same problems, the same belief that they're clever and that the right person knows what to do in bed, knows what you want to eat. And sometimes people do things that they think are really okay. They go out and buy you weird underwear you'd never wear, perfume that you think is disgusting, chocolates when you're on a diet. They bring home pizza when you're starving yourself. And you go, this person doesn't care, but they don't understand. You know, I had the funniest experience. I had to have a hysterectomy 5 years ago. My husband turned up the next morning with my laptop and said, I thought you might want to answer emails. I'm like, are you serious? I just had major surgery. In fact, I went home that day. I felt great. And I did laugh that he brought my laptop in because he thought I might want to work. He knows how much I'm always on my computer, always answering emails, but not that day. But you know what? If he'd had surgery, he would be on his laptop, probably an hour later, because he loves working. But you see, I had to realize he wasn't trying to hurt me. It wasn't offensive. He truly thought it would give me immense pleasure to open my laptop and start answering emails. One of my clients did that an hour after she gave birth. She answered emails because she wanted that. I can't think of anything worse than that. So please don't make this mistake. Early in a relationship, don't pretend I like what you like. Don't say, oh, I'll keep that to myself. Tell people what you want. I never forget seeing a client once, and he said, you know, I dated this girl last month, and she sent me a message, and she said, you didn't try hard enough in bed. I don't want to see you again. He said, what a woman. I'm seeing her again. She really put me in my place. He said, I like that. She's going to make me work so hard. Most women would think, I could never write to him. I go, hey, you didn't try hard enough in bed. You're toast. But she did. And he loved that because she told him what she needed. More effort in bed, more courtesy to her, and make it all about her. And he found that so sexy. And a challenge he was absolutely going to meet. Many women think, oh, I better not say what I want. I don't want to be seen as difficult. I don't want to be seen as demanding. Why don't I pretend that I'm so easily pleased and I'll make you happy? It doesn't work, even early on. Tell them what your needs are. Tell them what your desires are. And if you think, you know, my partner's forgetting it's my birthday, they're not mentioning it, they're going to forget my birthday because they don't care. Why don't you change them and go, hey, you know what? They love me. They want to celebrate my birthday. I'm going to tell them, hey, it's my birthday next Thursday. I know you want to do something amazing, so let me give you some ideas of what I want. A few years ago, I realized my daughter didn't remember my birthday. She was talking about Wednesday, which was my birthday, and I could have thought, right, she's going to forget. I'm going to let her forget and then tell her off and go, you didn't even remember my birthday, and create so much drama. Instead, I took a breath and I said, it's my birthday on Wednesday. She went, oh yeah, of course it is. What shall we do? And we had a great day because I pulled back from, you've forgotten, let me sit this out, and then let me go after you with hurt and anger and disappointment. It was easier just to tell her. So please don't do that. We've all done it. Tell people what you want. Tell people what you need. Be honest about your feelings. When someone disappoints you, say, you know, I'm disappointed. I was upset. I was hurt by. Don't say you made me feel unimportant. You forgot. You didn't. When you are always late to pick me up, I know you don't care about me. Rather than, I know you care about me, and if you could just pick me up on time, I would feel even more cared about. I could have said to my husband, when you go to bed and don't even lock the door, you don't care about me. I said, I know you care about me, and you can show me how much you care about my safety by always locking the doors before you go to bed. He does. So try starting from that. I know you care about me. I know you want to make this work. I know you're invested in both of us being happy. This is what I need. Share your needs, share your wants, share your desires. And remember, your partner is not psychic, is not clairvoyant, and they're only going to know what you want and need when you tell them. After all, if you said to a friend or a child, hey, what do you want for your birthday? And they go, well, what I really want is that Game Boy, or that I'd love to go to a theme park, I'd love to go shopping, I'd love to go for lunch. You give them what they want. It doesn't make the day worse. I say to my daughter every year, what do you want for your birthday? And she tells me, and I provide it. And it's better because I know what she wants. I say to my husband, what do you want? He wants a book, just a book. If he bought me just a book on my birthday, it would not be a happy day, but he knows. I don't have the same desire you have. For me, birthdays are a big deal. Christmases are a big deal. It's not the thought that counts, because I don't want a book. I'd like flowers. I'm going to tell you what I want. And here's where the thought that counts really goes wrong. Many people think, I buy my partner a washing machine. She said she wants one. I buy her a sewing machine. I buy her a vacuum cleaner. Domestic appliances are not gifts for Christmas or birthday. One of my clients bought his wife a subscription to the sports channel, saying, I thought you might find some yoga classes on there. She's like, no, you're going to find lots of football. That's not a gift that I want. You can have that gift, but you still need to get me a gift. So the thought counts when you think what your wife would really want or your husband would really want, and don't make it any kind of domestic appliance unless they've told you I would love a lawnmower for Christmas. If they haven't told you that, don't get them a power washer unless you know they really want one, especially for women. Appliances are work. They're not gifts. Unless they say, I'd love that dishwasher for Christmas, don't even go there. It is the thought that counts, but not the thought of a book from Amazon. But he loves a little book. Something that costs $5 will thrill him. Doesn't thrill me, because we're different, but we both completely understand each other's needs. In fact, my daughter's godmother said to me, I buy your daughter amazing gifts for my birthday, and you don't do the same. And I didn't think it was a two-way transaction, but I heard her, and then I started to buy her great gifts. Another of my clients said, my partner gives me my gift in a carrier bag, never wraps it up. And I had to say to me, no, I like it wrapped with ribbons. And of course, underneath that fear of, I don't want to tell you what I really want. I don't want to share what I really need in case you reject me. Because of course, our greatest fear is being rejected. When you can't show someone who you are and can't have the relationship you want because you're not being yourself, you end up rejecting yourself. Nobody can reject you without your consent. And if the person you would reject you because you are sharing your needs, they're not your person. The right person will never reject you. In fact, they'll go out of their way to understand your needs because you've had the confidence to express them so nicely, so eloquently, with the knowledge that you are worthy of expressing your needs and having them met. And your partner, of course, is worthy of expressing their needs and having them understood and mostly met. One of my clients told me that every year her husband gave her for Christmas a red panzanetta with a $50 bill in it. And one year she threw the whole thing on the floor, locked herself in the toilet and said, that's it. She also said that every year he gave her the same card he gave her the year before and thought that was good because he's into recycling. And she said, I'm about to recycle you. If you recycle that card for one more year, you're going to be recycled. And then he didn't do it anymore. He realized she wants a new card with a new message, not the same one, not a jokey message. She told him what she wanted. He never again gave her a plant with $50 tucked into the soil. He never again recycled the card because she told him. She went through a lot of pain first, but when she told him, he immediately met her needs because she told him what her needs were. Work out your needs, feel comfortable sharing them. Don't dismiss someone who doesn't understand you if you haven't taken the time to let them understand you by showing them who you are, what you need, what you want. Be honest and remember, We like people who show their vulnerability, and we don't connect to people who appear to be perfect. In relationships, vulnerability is good. I was having lunch with a lovely couple the other day, and she said, you know, he said to me, I thought I'd never find someone again. She went, you're gorgeous, you're everything. She said, can you imagine this lovely man thinking he would never find love again? He was vulnerable. When he told her that, she loved him more. The basis of friendship and relationships, we like people who share our vulnerabilities, and we dislike people who appear perfect and who never express their needs, and then we never get the joy of meeting them. We're living in a world today where we are all confusing online connection with real connection. Today, only 56% of teenagers have ever been on a real physical date, compared to 85% in the previous generations. We've also got other studies that show that 1 in 3 couples break up due to social media disagreements. When we look at these studies, we really have to examine the impact our online behavior is having on our real lives, and especially on our real relationships. So a lot of people believe that social media is the savior of relationships, that with dating apps we can finally find someone, and there may be some truth in that, but a lot of dating apps don't work. They allow people to have so many different possibilities that they never really connect. They swipe and reject for really superficial reasons. And so what's happening with a whole generation is that they no longer can connect. They connect on FaceTime, they connect on dating apps, but they don't connect in real life. They don't actually know how to have relationships anymore. And social media also allows us to compare ourselves with these false images. Many people putting their picture on a dating profile. It's not even them, and if it is them, it is so heavily photoshopped. And so we have this problem going on that social media is distorting our ability to connect. Getting likes is not bonding. That's not real, that is fake. Getting people to like a picture of you that doesn't even really look like you, that is 10 years old or has been photoshopped or altered, or just happened to be a really good one. When people connect to that, they are not connecting to you. Real connection is when your friends love you with all your flaws, your partner sees you with red eyes and a runny nose because you're sick and makes you soup or looks after you. That is real connection. And we now have a generation that don't understand connection. They don't even talk on the phone. They WhatsApp, they text, but they don't ever leave messages. And when you don't speak on the phone, you miss all the little tones in someone's voice that you can read. And we all know that you can spend ages talking to someone online and one phone call says, oh no, or maybe, oh yes. So although we are seeing social media as an ability to get people together, it actually disconnects. And here's the truth: when we are born on the planet, we must find connection and avoid rejection, because that is how we survive. We survive by connecting to people and avoiding being rejected. And many years ago, survival was very much a numbers game. But we really haven't changed. Babies know I must connect. And I'm always amazed when people say, yeah, I've got, a virtual babysitter. I read my kid a story at night on WhatsApp because I'm on the other side of the country, or I have a baby cam and I'm at work and I talk to my baby through the camera. But it's not the same. We need real relationships, real hugs, real conversation, real eye contact, real voices, real people. And while there's some good in dating apps, you can say, okay, I'm in a job, or maybe I'm in an all-female office or an all-male office, or maybe I'm in a bank and I'm not allowed to date at work. I can find someone else, that's true. But in order to find someone else, you need to look for someone who is real. And you'd ask yourself real questions. Is this person real? Are they genuine? Are they authentic? Are they warm? Do we share the same interests? Don't look for what weight they are, what shape they are, what job they are, what salary they have. You need to make real connections with real people. And if you are using dating apps, it's okay, but you need to meet those people as soon as you possibly can. You can speak online a couple of times, but meet. I meet people who said, I spent 2 years talking to this guy, then I met him, it was like, oh no, 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 no. I spent 1.5 years talking to this girl, she turned up, and it was like, no. But that's a huge waste. If I interview people online, and I've interviewed lots of people online, it's very useful initially, but I have to meet them face to face. I have to meet them, see them, really connect them before I can employ them. So you have to get over using social media as the only way to meet people, to date someone, to employ someone, to get to know someone. It will never, ever compare to meeting real people in the flesh. My mother was a great example of the benefit and not benefits of social media. She could talk to her grandchildren all over the world. She actually loved Zoom and FaceTime because she could speak. And that was very good, but at social gatherings, every grandchild, every niece, every nephew was on the phone, and she always said, you know, I don't have a phone. I can't do that. She felt very left out. She'd go to a family event, and the young generation all had their iPads out, their phones out. They were taking pictures of the food, texting each other across the table. One niece would text one nephew in the same room. And I saw how she was very, very disconnected because she wasn't talking to her extended family because they were talking to each other on WhatsApp. One of the reasons that eating disorders are on the rise in a younger generation, even amongst young guys, and one of the reasons self-harming is on the rise, and depression and anxiety, is because that generation are exposed every day to false images of perfection. They go online and think, oh, all these people have got fat hair and thin thighs, but I've got thin hair and fat thighs, so therefore I don't count. Yes, you do. We look at everyone else, they look better in their clothes, they're more trendy, more witty, they're having better holidays, they seem to have more money, they seem to have everything better. It's not real. One of the things I really don't like is when you see a celebrity who just had a baby turn up in a pair of skin-tight jeans and a little tank top going, hey, look at me, I had a baby and I'm a perfect size 2 again. But that's not true. It's Photoshop. They've had staff who've looked after the baby, made them juices, maybe they've worked out a lot. Their hair and makeup look great because they have an army of staff behind them. And for someone else who's gone home with a brand new baby and still has to do the laundry, the dishes, look after another baby, they can't compare. And that's what I actively dislike about social media. You compare yourself to images that are fake, that aren't real. We are all influenced by social media, even though we don't know it. Our minds are being rewired through social media. Fairy tales cause a lot of problems because they again overexpose us to something that is not real. We have this incorrect, actually harmful belief that you will meet your other half and they'll complete you. But you're not a half, you're a whole. And when you're a whole, you're not looking for someone to complete you, you're looking for someone to grow a relationship with. And here's the biggest problem of all, this belief that your other half will meet all your needs. Well, I'm here to tell you that simply is not true. Imagine you have needs, we all have needs. Your partner can probably meet 1/3 of your needs very well. And another 1/3, you need to meet them yourself. And the third, well, you might have to let them go. Imagine your need is to have a perfect home with white sofas and a white carpet and everything tied away. And you've got 3 kids who like to play football. Often you have to look at your need and think, well, you know, that need just isn't going to work. I need peace and calm. But I've got 2 babies under the age of 18 months old. Sometimes we just have completely unrealistic needs, and you have to ask yourself a question: what is more important, my need or my relationship? I need a tidy house. I love tidy. I love everything put away. It makes me feel great. I have a husband who doesn't even notice he's left all the cupboard doors open, all the kitchen cabinets open. He loves to cook. He's immensely messy. And I realized that his need is to enjoy cooking without me saying, oh look, you got that on the floor. Why have you made so much mess? How come one tea bag has managed to stay in every surface? So I just had to give up my need to have a really tidy house and to recognize that having a happy marriage with a husband who loves cooking is actually a great gift. And in my relationship, I have to bring it back to, you know, what is more important here? Me and him are my need for order and tidiness, and he has other needs, and I know that I don't meet some of his needs. He loves to go out every night. He's super social. I actually love to chill by sitting on the sofa and watching a movie, and I love watching things like Downton Abbey and Jane Austen, which just leave him cold. And he loves watching documentaries about the history of the world and all kinds of science stuff that I don't love either, but we work it out because I understand the third. He meets some of my needs fantastically well. I'm lucky to have him. I meet some of his needs amazingly well. He's very lucky to have me, but we both understand, okay, I have to give this need up. And we both understand that other needs I need to meet. So if I had a need to have a husband go to the gym with me, go shopping with me, that's not him. In my 33 years as a therapist, I have no doubt at all that my clients who are the unhappiest are the ones who are looking for perfect. I've got a list. I want someone who is perfect. I always smile and go, okay, let's imagine you found this perfect person. What you want, what do they want? If they are perfect, don't you think they also want perfect? I recently had a rock star's ex-wife in my office, and that had all gone wrong. She had a lot of money. She said, I need another rock star, but I want one 20 years younger than me. And I went, why? She said, well, I want to be with a rock star. I said, but where do you think that's going to go? You're 20 years older than him. Don't you think you're just delaying the inevitable of having a second marriage go wrong? Don't pick someone 20 to 25 years younger than you. Pick someone that you have shared interests with. Because when you look for perfect, first of all, it doesn't exist. You will never find Mr. or Mrs. Perfect. They don't exist. And in trying to find them, you'll be dissatisfied, you'll be sad, you'll be disappointed. You know what you'll also be? Lonely. All of my clients trying to be perfect and find perfect are lonely and dissatisfied, and it's so unnecessary. All you have to do is understand, hey, I'm a flawed person. I can accept I have flaws, and I'm with people who are flawed. And if I was perfect, I'd be lonely, and my flaws make me real. They make me genuine. They make me authentic. And that's a wonderful thing. I always remember one of my clients saying, when I saw my wife, she was walking down the street and her thighs were rubbing together. It was the sexiest thing I'd ever seen in my life. I'm like, wow, I wish every woman fighting for a thigh gap could have heard him say that was the sexiest thing. Another of my clients said, my wife was working out. She had sweat running down her back and all around her groin. It was so erotic. I was so attracted to this girl covered in sweat with wet hair. Who would have thought that? No makeup, working out, sweating, damp hair, red face. And yet to him, that was sexy. So please don't try to be perfect. There is no fairy tale. There's real life, and real life is amazing. You know, the best thing when you know that someone loves you for you, when you're throwing up because you're sick, when you've got a cold and your eyes are red and your hair is matted, and they bring you coffee or tea and tell you they love you, then you know that's the fairy tale. Oh, you love me just the way I am, and I love you. And you'll be having a bad day, and I love you just as much, maybe even more, because your vulnerability makes me want to care for you. And I've worked with many, many models who feel, gosh, you know, I never want to disappoint someone. That isn't really me. Ava Gardner said, every man I meet thinks I'm Gilda. Sharon Stone said, every man thinks I'm Catherine from Basic Instinct. That isn't me. They are always disappointed. So many supermodels and movie stars tell me People are disappointed with me because they think I'm this role. It's not me. But imagine if you don't have to be perfect. You can be you and you're loved. Guess what you don't get? Disappointment. Guess what you don't worry about? You're disappointed in me. When you can be real, no one is disappointed in you, and that includes you. So remember, the key to a great relationship is how well the conversation goes back and forth, how good you are at recognizing each other's needs and meeting as many as you can. The key to a great relationship is, do you respect and admire each other? Do you have sexual chemistry and best friend chemistry? Nothing in there says, hey, are you perfect for your partner? Because they don't even want that. I've worked with models who are left and their partners say, oh, it was like dating a racehorse. It was just so much work. And now my next partner is just real and warm and genuine, and I didn't even want all that drama. So remember, if your relationship now is not working, don't think, well, I better stay in it because I'm looking for the fairy tale. You can always make your relationship better or leave something that really doesn't work and find a better relationship when you stop looking for something that isn't real and become the real, lovable you. You can find someone that loves you because you're you, and you love them because they're them, and then you build this beautiful, flawed relationship together, loving in each other, believing in each other, supporting each other, not having to worry about your thighs or your height or the number on your birth certificate, the number on the scale, the number in your clothing label, the number in your bank account. Those don't matter. What matters is being a real person, finding real love based on being real, and then it will last forever because it's real. If you want to attract real love, the person who is right for you, that knows, by the way, that you are right for them, you absolutely can find and maintain real love. If you enjoyed that video, check out the next one right here. You can also click the link below right here for your free gift. The only thing you need to find love is a belief that you are lovable. Reprogram your subconscious mind for success. Remember, it has a job.